For the past 12 months, there's really been only one king of the Battle Royale genre. PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds. PUBG has been the king because PUBG has been the game that created the kingdom. But is the king about to be dethroned?
PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds arrived on the scene in March 2017 and took the Battle Royale formula that existed in games like H1Z1 King of the Kill, tweaked it, and took over the internet with it. 2017 was in many ways PUBG's year, smashing records for sales, concurrent players on Steam, and viewers on streaming sites like Twitch. It's really done quite well. But something is happening, and it's best described as a judo throw, and Fortnite is the game doing the throwing.
This week, the website Fortnite Intel reports the game has become the most watched and most streamed game on Twitch. It's more popular than League of Legends, which usually tops the table. In the last 2 weeks, Fortnite Intel says the game has been watched a total of 4,882 years, 208 days, and streamed for a total of 246 years, 231 days. That is a lot. Those figures put it at double the popularity of its main competitor, and let's face it, inspiration, PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds. The game's average daily views have shot up from around 20 to 30,000 in late January to over 140,000 at the start of March. PUBG, meanwhile, has been slowly declining since early December. It started December at around 100,000 average daily views, but began March with closer to 70,000. So I think this trend is more indicative of what the streamers are playing. They all used to be playing PUBG, but now they're playing Fortnite, obviously. There's just a handful of huge streamers who have so many followers. It doesn't matter what they play, people will watch, right? So if they go from one game to another, you'll see a shift like this. And for instance, an example of that was Shroud the other day. He played The Last of Us on a stream in a two-parter, and it went to like third most viewed on Twitch for like one single day, and then it shot back down. And it was just because one guy played it. I mean, that's how much of an impact these streamers have just by playing different games.
Now, outside of Twitch, the figures are just as eye-watering. Fortnite has 40 million total players and has a peak of over 3.4 million concurrent players as of the last count. And the comparison to PUBG is again pretty flattering. The last count we got for PUBG was 30 million in sales in mid-February, but player numbers are down. PUBG's all-time concurrent player peak was about 3.2 million, but that was in early January, and the figure is now closer to 2.6 or 2.7 million. And it's not just the raw figures that tell a story either. Fortnite's mainstream cultural impact has also been massive. In the US, mainstream TV shows like Good Morning America have been discussing the Fortnite craze. Just last week, students at a school in Ohio won a bet with their chemistry teacher to have their final exam on the topic of Fortnite. The class won a silly bet with their teacher, and it was a Fortnite exam that they wanted as a prize, not a PUBG one. Yeah, I mean, there's like athletes, superstar athletes in America tweeting about this game and stuff. It's just got this huge kind of cultural impact. It just feels like a lot of people are talking about it who don't normally talk about video games, and that's just not something you're seeing with PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds, and I don't think it's something that you ever did see with Battlegrounds. It's reached a level of recognition, especially in the United States, and it's just a big deal that it seems like, you know, that morning breakfast television hosts are talking about. That's the kind of thing that we're talking about here.
There could be many reasons for why this is happening. Fortnite, firstly, is a free game, and it's on PS4, Xbox, and PC. PUBG, meanwhile, costs about £25 and is not on the PS4, so that's over 70 million gamers that can't play the game yet. Then Fortnite as a product is a well-polished, well-packaged thing. It's really easy to pick up and play, and it feels good to do so. But then it's got a very high skill ceiling for anyone who wants to master it. It's much more polished than PUBG, and development at Epic Games is still going at a healthy clip.
Now, aside from the fact it's free and on the PlayStation 4, that last point could be crucial. While Epic have focused on development, regularly adding features and sharpening up the game, Bluehole has found itself constantly putting out fires. They're literally banning players in their millions because of cheating. And while Bluehole were getting PUBG players worked up over the prospect of vaulting, the act of clambering slowly over a low-level obstacle, something which had its own trailer, Fortnite players get jetpacks and hoverboards. As a single metaphor for what's setting these two games apart, I can't think of anything better than that.
Throwing metaphors in a PGG script, Mike.
The fact it's free is obvious. That's obviously going to be a huge benefit to it. And the fact that Battlegrounds is not on the PlayStation 4, Battlegrounds has kind of gone with Microsoft. They just don't have the install base that PlayStation has. That is suffering because of that. But regardless of both those things, I think the support is huge. I think the fact that Fortnite is getting new features and it feels exciting and fresh and it feels like things are being added. Development is slow to a crawl, it feels like, on PUBG, and they're focused more instead on cracking down on the cheaters rather than making the game better.
With Fortnite getting so many headlines these days, Good Morning America's even talking about it, like, and everyone's like, oh, what's this game? Let's check it out. What is it? Oh, it's available on my platform and it's free. Awesome, I'll try it out. And that's what's happening. This game is snowballing to a point where, you know, it's just spiraling out of control. Everyone's playing on Twitch, everyone's watching it, and everyone's trying it out. Whereas with PUBG, like you said, it's not on PS4. You have to pay £25. Who can afford £25 for a game these days? We've got so many of these other great games coming out at the moment. I'm sure there's a couple of good ones.
There's some on the way. March is looking alright.
Is it?
Far Cry 5.
Far Cry 5's
right in the end of March, but it's in there. I think the polish and the packaging is really important as well. I think the fact that Fortnite looks and handles basically like it's finished, or it looks certainly polished, and you can't say the same for PUBG, or at least you couldn't say the same for a lot of last year. I think that is really important as well. Just to sum up for me personally, I think it's quite amazing how a few months ago we were looking at Fortnite and going, this is a blatant rip-off of PUBG, mere clone, what's going on here? Yeah, it did well. It picked up like 10 million players really quickly, and now it's on over 40 million, and it's just rampaging. It's what an amazing thing that has happened. It's
judo throw.
It's
amazing judo throw.
It took PUBG, that's what the judo thing is about.
Throw.
Took PUBG's weight and used it against it, used its own powers against it, and it's just skyrocketing. It's quite an amazing thing to bear witness to.
It just goes to show you don't have to be the first one to do something and be successful at it. I mean, they came along just after PUBG, and you know, they've judo throwed it, so you know you can succeed. However, I don't hold out much hope for all the other guys trying to do battle royale games now, because it's just going to be oversaturated before long, and everyone's going to be bored of it. So try and find something new. Don't compete with they do two juggernauts now. Just find a different game. Do something new and fresh.
There's going to be loads of battle royale games.
We don't want
There's going to be loads.
We don't want them. Sounds like we're totally pro Fortnite here, and we're fanboys of Fortnite. We don't play Fortnite,
no.
And this is just the facts, right?
Well, or Battlegrounds. I need to.
Or Battlegrounds anymore. These are just facts. We're not affiliated to either of these games. You know, we don't play them. This is just how it is. But enough with the battle royale, isn't it? Just single player games, isn't it? I think that's 2 videos in a row now.
World War II. That's where it's at.
Battle Royale, there can be only one. PUBG or Fortnite, which is your favourite? Let us know down in the comments below. Like the video if you've enjoyed it. Subscribe if you're new around here. Check out another video on your screen there. Support us on Patreon if you're awesome. We'll see you again in the next one. Bye for now.